everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking a little bit about color schemes before we move into the sketchbook assignment and into our assignment for today. So for color schemes themselves, there's going to be three that we'll talk about today. First one is going to be monochromatic color scheme. For monochromatic color scheme, it is one color plus black and white. With this, you want to make sure that you're including the shades or the range of value with that color. So a lot of times I see people that just do like blue, but what you want to do is make sure you have blue and then you're also including the black and the white. Otherwise, it's not really a color scheme, it's just a color. Next color scheme is complementary. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, and with those they have a tendency to have the most contrast with each other. Oftentimes a lot of sports teams use them because they're really eye-catching, so you can kind of think about like Minnesota Vikings with purple and yellow is a good example of complementary color schemes, and they use that because it has that really visual pull. And then the other two examples would be red, green, and orange and blue. For the complementary color schemes, typically what you see with these is, since they are so contrasting, what ends up happening is when you mix those together with most materials, they end up making kind of it's usually like a gray-brown color, because what you have happening is the contrast of the two colors are fighting each other, and when that happens, to our eyes, it ends up kind of canceling out and makes something kind of like a brown or a gray. And then last color scheme that we're going to talk about is going to be analogous colors. That is typically a family of 3 to 5 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. With those, you want to be making sure that you're using primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So a good example would be red, violet, 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 blue, and then blue. So you really want to make sure that you're using those tertiary colors, otherwise it ends up being too sporadic with that color scheme. So you want to think about the primary, secondaries, and tertiaries that live next to each other on the color wheel. And that's all of that color scheme. What I want you to do, since this is such an important piece for the next two projects that we're going to be working on, I want you to figure out what's going to work well to kind of remember these. If you want to get them written down somewhere in your sketchbook, that would be awesome, and then you can kind of have that sheet to refer back to as we get into sketchbooks this week and into our later projects. Head on over to our next video. I'll have a little bit more information for you, and then you'll get going into work time. Thank you.